welcome back to CRL for round 6 around here for season 2. My name is Jamie and we're going to be here tonight for Watkins International Race Circuit. Around here in USA again for the third time this season. We've been to Indianapolis, we were at Laguna Seca last weekend and now we're here for Watkins then. So what's another fantastic track to drive around. It is quite tricky as well, especially in the first two sectors there. We'll see how the drivers manage it. A lot of high speed corners, a lot of heavy braking zones too, and long looping corners too, which might unsettle the car or whatnot. But anyways, after round 6, Laguna Seca, it was Adrian Menendez who won, and it is quite dark here tonight as well, so vision might be impaired just a bit, especially my vision too, because I can barely see. So do bear with me if I do make mistakes, because I cannot see a thing unfortunately, as I am short-sighted and blind, and everything to me in front of me is blurry. I can't find my glasses. I don't know what I did with them, even though I was watching the MotoGP race with them. And after that, I can't remember where I put them, so they're gone now. But after this race, I will go on a mission to find them. But so far, we've got Jacob Booth is about to make his way towards the final corner to open up a flying lap around here at Watkins Glen. Then touches the wall on the outside and gets away with it as we make our way down towards turn 1. A heavy braking zone going into 1. You want to be very careful on channel limits at the exit of turn 1 there. It can catch a lot of people out too. And it's very easy to lose the car using all the curve on the outside before we make our way uphill towards turn 2. The track descending as we go towards turn 3 now. Flat out with turn 2 and turn 3. We should have no problems at all as we make our way down towards turn 4 as we go on to the back straight, then reaching speeds about 180 miles an hour, but I've got to take comments now. Here we go then, towards the chicane we go. Can be very difficult, you want to take a lot of curve through here as we go down to third gear then. I think Jacob Booth was a bit hesitant to go in there, carried a lot of speed on his first attempt, but he did have 40 minutes around here of practice, so some drivers there who were in the practice session will get the experience around here. Before we make our way down towards the boot we go, that was the carousel, we exited the last corner out towards the left hand, which can be very tricky on the exit, but looks like it's very hooked up so far indeed. Descended it downhill into this right-hander. You want to just carry the throttle here, carry the speed before we make our way back onto the throttle there, and it takes it nicely through third gear we go. As uphill, going down into the next right-hander. As I don't really know the corner names, I did memorise them, but just forgot about it. So as we go down towards second gear now, you're going to use all the track of the exit and try not to go too out wide here. It's very easy to lose back in the car as you get the power. Traction is required through here. It goes a bit deep into this left-hander, but it takes a very late apex indeed with the back end of the car stepping out, and Jacob Booth decides that lap time is not worthy. So through goes another car as he makes his way down towards the left. There a lot of steering put there behind Palmer, as he will be the first one then to cross the line, as we get a lot of data to see what the drivers can do. They're getting close to the wall on the outside, as you want to do, trying to utilise every single part of the racetrack. As he crossed the line to the 45.1, as we know Jacob Booth there backed out of it, as Christian Chapman replaces him in the 44s. We did see 44s in the practice session. Joshua Badger goes to P3, and now Jake Garrett goes ahead of Christian Chapman there, so he puts himself on pole with Nathan, who is 3.5 tenths further back in P3 there, just ahead of Harry Palmer by about a tenth as well. Jared Dunley, who took pole back in Laguna Seca, is in 5th place. Julian Van Vienen is back here at Watkins Glen then, so makes a return. Does Verstappen scored his best result, I think, back at the Indianapolis Grand Prix when he finished 4th on that day, still at a bit of a podium. So we've got some more drivers there crossing the line to start or end their flying laps. Tope is right behind, I think. One of the McLaren boys, Eckhart Hansen, but one of those drivers is in front of him, will dearly look to get out of the way, but they're continuing racing, and we'll see if the McLaren ahead of us just backs off and allows Tope to go through. They're still side by side on this straight, as I don't really want to use this, but I actually do with it because it looks very nice. I will go back on board with the off-board cameras as in the chicane, as he finally backs out of it. Did they make contact? No, because you can see the screen there on his dash that the driver behind has backed off, luckily for him. But obviously lost a lot of time through there due to fighting with another driver then, so not ideal at all. We've got 21 drivers who are in this race then, so more than last week at Laguna Seca, and this is another fantastic cars who race around here, but obviously they use the shorter loop because there's too many corners around here, so that's why they use the shorter loop. We're using the full loop, no, we're using the outer loop, sorry, because this is not the full extent of this track, there's more to it. So it's like Hockenheim, Nürburgring, sorry, where the shorter loop, the outer loop and the full version. Here we are, towards the left-hander we go then, and takes it through 4th gear very nicely for Ewan Small. He hasn't practiced in the last few hours, he has been on a different game, as Saba goes into P2 there in the Lamborghini. That's 3.5 tenths away from what Jake Garrett has done. Here comes Ewan Small, where he's going to pop that Beamer up into P2, so a decent lap time there for Jake. He is 2 tenths away from his nearest competitor there, so let's see if it stays that way. Saba on his debut here, looking really good so far in P3, and he's currently 200 quicker than Nathan JB, who has improved slightly as he's got 3 tenths to himself, and Christian Chamo in P5. Christian Chamo's been on the podium once this season. That was back at the Indianapolis Grand Prix, the first race of the season. Almost scored a podium in France, but he spun somewhere, made a big mistake, and he dropped behind Harry and Josh, who scored a podium together. That's Harry Palmer, they're flirting, he's in the wall, he's spun, and that's going to bring some damage to his car. So a trip to the pits is necessary, as you can return to garage, unlike in F1. So he's safely back in the pits there. And now on board with Jared Donnelly, currently 1.1 seconds away from Jake Garrett in P1 there, has mighty pace. His home Grand Prix, there's a spinner right in front of us, but that's the same place where Harry Palmer crashed, I think, and luckily for him, he did not hit the wall. So was that Matthew Powell down there in P9 who did that? He just returned to garage, so I think it could have been him. Harry Palmer is back out once again, and Christian Chamo spins in the chicane, and he hits the wall too. So we've seen 3 people spin so far during this session, so it's really interesting to see how the drivers take it there. Haven't really caught many incidents so far qualifying, but this is the most I've caught in the season combined. That's 3 of them I've caught so far. There's another spinner down there, but I'm not quite sure who that was. But Nathan Booth there coming towards the penultimate corner, looking to improve on his lap time and see if he can try to take pole away. He hasn't won a race this season yet, has Nathan, but as we round the final corner we go, climbing through the gears, up the speed, where's he going to put that McLaren? I think he's going to stay in P4, because Nathan JB probably go for another lap time. Christian Chamo there gets going once again, but he probably wants to return to garage after sustaining maybe a little bit of damage, or maybe has got away with it. So we'll see then how it does affect his car. Jared Dudley in P9 there in McLaren, got multiple McLarens inside the top 10, so we'll see if he can improve as we make our way down towards the chicane we go, taking a long curve. You really need to have the confidence with your car and setup to see if the dampers can take it or not, because it can really unbalance the car, but it all depends on the setup and the way you approach it as well, taking how much curve you can, how much curve the car can allow you to take. As we make our way out of the carousel, into the boot we go, downhill into second gear, use a lot of steering input there as we get out of the corner once again, nice traction before we descend downhill into the right-hander, and we'll see how we take through turn number 8 in the heel there. Gets a very nice exit indeed, but will he manage to get out of the corner safely? Yes, he does, as we continue now into turn 9. Hopefully I'm saying the right corners there, because I maybe got the wrong track my up, so we'll see if I am saying the right corners there, but it should be okay for the time being. I think this is turn 9 in this left-hander. There is 11 corners around here, so as you can see, a lot of steering input is used. A bit of oversteer on the exit before we make our way down towards turn 10. The penultimate corner into this left-hander we go, and as you can see, it takes a few fourth gear, takes a long curve, but he always backs out of it, and he is not happy with that whatsoever, so he made a big mistake there. And we'll see then if he can improve. So far it's Jake Garrett who secured a pole with, I think that was the Banjo, peeling off into the pit lane. Here comes Jake Garrett now towards the line. Will he extend his margin of the rest? I think he's going for another flying lap, as here is Ewan Small then going down in to turn 1 with him. You can't run out wide here. Track limits is not as brutal, I think, as in the, I think it was, what was it, a race ago in the sports cars. The track limits were brutal because the FIA said they didn't want, not the FIA, but the steward had said that they didn't want people running out wide too wide the exit of turn 1, otherwise they'll pick themselves up a warning. So the drivers here can get away with it before we make our way down towards the chicane. Look at the speed, look at the commitment. Who here? He spins. Does Jake Garrett? He spun there. Does he hit the wall? No, he doesn't. He stalls the car as Ewan Small, CAC Championship rival, spinning. And now we'll see what Ewan Small could do in the Beamer. They're looking really good so far. He did make contact with Jared Donnelly on the first lap, also on the second lap making contact with Michael Eckholt, which dropped him further down the order, sustained damage, but he came back finishing P4 despite having those issues during the race. So he's got the pace here tonight. He has closed the gap down towards towards Garrett in P1. It's 700ths of a second there between the top two. Nothing separates those two, as we've seen all season long. But is he of course for another pole around here, and we'll see then what Ewan Small could do. For years of missing the last 3 races, and that could really hurt him in the championship. The likes of Jake Garrett, Harry Palmer, Adrian Menendez and Nathan Booth could benefit from that, and we'll see if have Ewan Small got enough advantage to stay ahead of the rest of the guys. Takes a lot of curve there, the possible corner turn 10 before we make our way towards 11. Another slow speed corner into third before we go back into the gears once again, using all the chock on the outside, get as close to the wall as you possibly dare. Is this pole for Ewan Small? It is pole with a 43.9. There's a pink car there right in front of us, but what a lap time there from Ewan. Jake Gow will have to respond, but not on this lap time. And Matthew Pell goes up into P10 as well in the McLaren, so decent stuff there from Matthew with P10, although he goes out wide into turn 1. Here's Verstappen, and did he hit the wall on the inside? May have done so, and therefore that could have been really costly indeed. The track map I'm looking at is not the same map as so it's missing straight the ones I'm looking at. I need the track map with the chicane because obviously I'll get confused between the numbers there. I think I found it. Yeah, I think I found it then, so I think I found the right track map for this session, because other categories do not use the same layout as this. We're going to have to, if we can't find the proper one, I'm going to have to deal with it, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Before we make our way now towards uphill towards this left-hander, Yuri and Variena looking clean so far, other than that slight tap in the chicane. But can he improve on his P9? Currently 4 tenths away from his nearest competitor in P9. A bit of dirt kicked up on the driver ahead. Well, that distracts him slightly. Could have put him off focus there. Could have put him off ever so slightly. But has it affected him whatsoever as he makes his way now towards the final corner? We'll see where Verstappen can go in the Lamborghini. Where will he go? I think he stays in P9. Does the Dutchman. Jake Garrett there going for another lap. He did not hit the wall when he spun out of the chicane, so we can continue once again as we make our way downhill into the hill we go. Another left-hander corner, long looping left-hander before we get back to the throttle once again, using the outside curve there for support and traction before we descend downhill. These are lovely fast-flowing corners indeed. It can be very difficult on the exit there. Going uphill requires a lot of traction, very easy to lose it indeed as he makes his way onto the short straight. I don't think this is another place to overtake. It looks longer than I thought, this straight. I thought it was shorter than that, but yeah, still plenty of opportunities going down there. You can see some really good battles and people make mistakes out of these corners because it's so easy to break yourself through here and go out wide to this penultimate corner. Takes a late apex and he corrects the car again before he gets back to the throttle. And I don't think this has been a good lap time so far from Jake Gower. I can't see what's in his steering wheel. Well, I can actually, but I can't really see if he's up or down or not because it doesn't tell me. So we'll see then as he hits the ball out the final corner. I don't think this lap is going to be pole for Jake Garrett as it isn't, so he stays in P2. What about Nathan Booth, the man who scored 2 podiums this season? Hasn't scored a win just yet. He has been close. He was leading back in Laguna Seca, but Adrian Menendez on older tyres managed to beat him after that overcut. Look at that, Nathan there really hooked up the car really well at the exit of the chicane going into carousel. That's nice there from Nathan, just carrying the speed, no signs of the car stepping out at all, so decent there for Nathan JB. There just looks like the car is on rails so far, but that could change in a matter of a few corners. We've got a few cars just ahead of us. We'll see if they get out of the way, which they should do. But we've got 40 seconds left to go in this qualified session. That has absolutely flown by so far during this session. So we're about to see then the final few laps as Ewan Small has retired. Well, he's in the pit lane, so he feels confident not to go for another lap. He must have done 2 or 3 laps, that was about it for Ewan Small. The confidence the Scotsman has got in his car to put it on pole, despite having no practice earlier on. Maybe he did practice a few days ago, but not today because he was playing Valorant with our Antonio. So here comes Nathan JB coming towards Penultimate corner. Has he got anything to say about it? Has he found the time on Ewan Small? We're about to find out in a matter of seconds then. This is his last flying lap around here qualifying. Can Nathan take pole? He crossed the line and he does not. I believe he does improve on his time, but not his positioning. What about Jake Gower? What can he do then? This is his final attempt. Remember, he struggled, I think, a few qualifiers ago. Back in Laguna Seca, that's his other struggle too for him. And he also struggled, I think, elsewhere. He hits the corner out again into the final corner. Here comes Jake Gower, cross the line now. It's not pole, he couldn't get it. Adrian Menendez is the man who won at USA back in the Laguna Seca. Here at Watkins Glen, currently sat in P5 just ahead of Christian Chamo. There is a car right in front of us. He crossed the line before the timer ticked down to 0, so he does have an extra flying lap. With the Beamer, there is 3 of them in this session. One of them's down to 16th, now 17th, as Matthew Hopsey has replaced him. Other one's down in P13 as Paul Kalinin, who actually driven a decent race, I think. Or Menendez hits the wall again, and that's another driver we've seen hits the wall, unfortunately, and he gets hit by somebody else as we go pirouetted 360 there. Making a bit dizzy there, but I think qualifying has done and dusted right now, and that should be the qualifying concluded, unless anybody else can try and get themselves up to the order. A good friend of ours, Josh Evandro, currently down at P12, has scored a podium this season back at the first GPs. One and only podium after a great race, attacking and defending for Christian Chamo and Harry Palmer. But here he is, can he get himself inside the top 10? We're about to find out now, and he does not. He stays in P12. After really squints as Harry Palmer goes up into P4, decent lap time there, as once again he continues his good run of form so far lately this season after scoring multiple podiums as well this season, so he's another driver to watch out for. Getting quicker and quicker is Harry Palmer. That the qualifying session has been concluded, and Newman Small is on pole ahead of Jake Garrett in P2. Nathan Booth in P3, so the top 4 who are in the top 4, I think, in the championship, with Adrian Menendez there too, looking really strong so far. So let's see if they can keep it up around here at Laguna Seca, at Watkins Glen. I am trying to look for the proper track map around here because I know there is the outer and inner layer, so just trying to have a look to see if it does show that. It is dark around here, as I forgot to do what I'm supposed to do, so that's once again keep forgetting, but it's a learning curve and experience. Not my favourite spectator mode. F1 and spectator is better, but in terms of the game, ACC is a lot better than F1 overall. Even though I don't race in ACC, I think that this game has brought a lot of attention to other people. And Harry Palmer, I think, is streaming because a Twitch notification has popped up, which he is streaming then. So we'll see how he does on his perspective. Do you know what? I watch Harry Palmer stream because he's looking at his setup right now, trying to put the right calculations in. The fuel. We'll see if he changes anything on his fuel and strategy set. So yeah, I watch Harry Palmer's point of view to see how he does. As you can see there, he's putting in a lot of fuel, as Harry Palmer. Just adjusting his brakes as well. And his left front, I think it is camber. The session will start soon. F1 is back next weekend at the Dutch GP. The second half of the season will continue between McLaren versus Red Bull. That should be very interesting. We had the MotoGP 2 around Austria, whereas we saw some decent battles in Austria, especially in the wet this season, with, I think it was Jake Garrett, who overtook Harry Palmer after he spun a few times too, but still finished on the podium on that day. After, I think it was Nathan, who pitted for new tyres, which turned out to be the wrong call because he lost a lot of time during his pit stop, whereas others only pitted for fuel, got out earlier, and was able to get the jump on Nathan. Could have been or should have been his third podium of the season, but Nathan just narrowly missed out there. But we've seen the same top 2 as it's been this season between Jake and Newman Small. I think Jake took pole back in the Japanese Grand Prix, the cancelled race, and Newman Small tried to go around the outside. But I think Jake Garrett this time will have the inside line going into turn number 1. Let's have a look. No, we'll have to go around the outside into turn 1. So we'll see then. Can Jake Garrett get a good launch? We saw that back at the Laguna Seca Grand Prix when it was Newman Small, and I think it was Jared Dunley who went side by side into turn 1. I think Newman Small got a better start around the outside. Then Jake Garrett had the inside line to go up the inside and take the lead of the race until those two made contact and ended in tears right there. We know what happened at the rest of the race. The championship standings, in which I've not even spoke about yet, so we'll have a look at we'll have a look at it right now. Very difficult to commentate this one because I haven't got my glasses, so Yeah, apologies if I do make mistakes or don't see anybody where they should be. But Ewan Small is P1 in the championship ahead of Harry Palmer by about 40 points. Then further behind is Adrian Menendez, who's 5 points behind Harry Palmer. Jake Garrison P4, who is 4 points behind Adrian Menendez. Michael Eckholt is still ahead of Nathan Booth, but only by 6 points there. Eckholt lost a lot of points in the last race due to contact there with, I think, Ewan Small. Christian Chamo in P7, one podium this season, a DNF, and a few bad results for him. But can he make his way back here? Currently started down in P7. Josh Avaggio currently in P8 after scoring one podium back at the French GP. Dennis Hansen, the Danishman, he really hasn't had any good results, but he's still in P9 in the championship ahead of Jurien van Vienen and Verstappen, who did not turn up, unfortunately, I think, back at the... what was it now? The fourth Grand Prix and the last Grand Prix back at Laguna Seca. Memory is not great, unfortunately. Phil Fisher, we haven't seen for a long time. ILT Phil, who's had good pace, but at the same time has got himself in a lot of controversy. Paul Kalainen, who's slowly but surely making his way up there. And we know Jared Dudley too, who's trying to show what he's got. 2 DNFs this season, 1 DNS, and Kevin as well, who hasn't really been around here.
20 seconds.
The timer will tick down to 0, and we'll see then what will happen during this race. Eyesight is not the best, but the energy is. Just trying to adjust my settings to see. There we go. Should be better now. So the 7th race around here will get underway very shortly. We're just on the double formation lap, or shall I say formation lap in double file, as the engines roar, and we can get going very shortly there to see what will happen going down into turn 1. If Jake Garrett tries to go around the outside to turn 1, he might get shoved off the track by Ewan Small, because it is a tight turn 1 and it's difficult enough to try and keep your track limits by yourself. So will Jake Garrett try to take that risk? We'll see. And notice as well that Ewan really doesn't get the best of starts, so we'll see if Jake Garrett can try and get ahead. But it should be very interesting with the guys behind. Haven't got the best camera, but I'll adjust it right now. And there we go, should be okay. Want to go on board with the leader, of course, which is Ewan Small. So hopefully that's good enough for you. Identifying cars could be a bit of a problem, so just bear with me on that one. It was a great race back at Laguna Seca. Plenty of action everywhere, especially in the corkscrew and at turn 5 as well. We've seen plenty of moves there. We've seen plenty of swapping places as well. The strategy is key around here too. 100% concentration is needed, because a slight slip up in the chicane will cause you to spin and lose a lot of positions then. So we'll see if the drivers can manage it around here at Watkins Glen. I'm glad I'm not racing, because I know that chicane I don't get right. I'm inconsistent with it too. As I can see that Harry Palmer there, who is off board so far. It's going to be very interesting to watch Harry Palmer's point of view whilst I'm commentating. See what he's doing down there. Can probably catch a few mistakes. He's currently in P4, so can he challenge Nathan going down to turn 1? I don't have my glasses, so I can't really see anything at all. Especially now it's dark as well. It can be a bit difficult to see, but I'll try my best. To me, everything is just blurry, hence why I couldn't read the times out properly. I have to really squint and look into the screen. The summer break for F1 will be over soon, before we head into Zandvoort, so that should be, well, not an interesting race, but we'll see how it plans out in the championship. Verstappen has been on a winless streak so far of 4 races without a win, but there at Zandvoort, he should be really strong. He's always won the Grand Prix since 2021. So we'll see then, can Verstappen reclaim his first win since, what was it? I can't actually remember now, Canada. Mercedes and McLaren looking really strong. in the second part towards the season. Can they keep it up? As they all have to remain in a double file, otherwise they'll pick themselves up a penalty. And we should get racing underway shortly, as Harry Palmer is back on his favourite camera angle, where he likes to look at the dash, not the steering wheel. I like looking at the steering wheel, maybe because it makes it more realistic, but everybody has their different preferences to what they want in terms of cameras. When they cross the line, who will get a better reaction time? Will it be Ewan? We're about to find out now, as they're on a speed limiter right now. They're side by side, the championship rivals. Jake Garrett's currently in P4 after a dismal race back in the French GP and did not start on the Valencia GP due to internet connection issues. But we're about to cross the line now, and we go green flag racing. Away they go around here in USA, and we'll see, can Jake Garrett get alongside Ewan Small as we head down towards turn 1? He's trying to go on the outside, he's blocked off, he can't make a way through. And Nathan there, who stays ahead of Harry Palmer. And now return to Garrett, try and get the best camera angle we go. So everything's sorted so far. But as we make our way now towards the top of turn 4 and turn 5, before we head onto the back straight, is Jake Garrett close enough to make a move, but he's under pressure from Nathan Booth out behind. There is Harry Palmer too, looking to take advantage there of the Lamborghini. Will he get swallowed up on this straight? And here we are then, when Nathan Booth tries to go on the outside. This is a place you don't want to fight. He might go off the track. Did he go off the track? I'm not quite sure. And once again, my thing has been glitched, and I think he stayed on the track there as Nathan JB. So I think Harry Palmer is behind him, which he is, in the McLaren driver. So lucky there, Nathan was about to go off the circuit, it looks like, but managed to stay on there as we go through the carousel. Now into the boot we go. I think they all settled down now. I don't think anybody has made a big mistake on the first lap. We've seen a few people going side by side there. There's Matthew Hobbsey versus Tope, side by side with those two, but once again it says Nathan Booth is 400s away from Jake Garrett then, so might want to watch out for the battle for P2 and P3, because it's going to be looking very interesting so far. But it was a clean first lap, nothing too major happened, nothing dramatic happened, so luckily they all got away unscathed, except Hodgburn down in P21, who has fallen backwards there into last place. I'm not quite sure what happened to him. Jared Donnelly putting pressure on Jacob Booth. Jacob was the one who scored his first points of the season after trying to get it in Japan. But unfortunately, we had that server declared with G Portal. The server just crashed totally, and he wasn't able to get his first points after a few miserable races on the DNF as well. Remember that DNF at the Austrian Grand Prix, where he got taken out of the street and had to retire on that day? But it's Ewan Small who leads by 1.2 seconds then, and Jake Garrett is coming off the threat from Nathan Booth, because he almost looked like he was about to be overtaken on that straight. Jared Donnelly putting pressure on Jacob Booth in front of him. We'll see, can he get himself alongside him and ahead of him going into turn 2? We go side by side now. Which one of the... Oh, there's contact, and one of them's in the wall. That could have been Jacob Booth, unfortunately. He might sustain a bit of damage from that one, and got shoved into the wall, did the McLaren driver. And we'll see which one of those two came off worse. It was Jacob Booth, and Jacob Booth unfortunately being shoved off by Jared Donnelly on the first opening lap of this race, like it was back at the Laguna Seca Grand Prix. Another miserable race there for Jacob Booth after scoring his first points of the season last race, as now will find himself with no points. We've got Vian Vienen right behind Menezes. Menezes, the one who won back in again Asuka, who is Laguna Seca, sorry, is big under pressure there from Menezes. So we'll see as the Lightyear car is following just behind us, with Paul Kalainen, the finishman, in P10, with Matthew Pell P11, with Dari following him, chased by McCartney in P13, with Alacon 14th as well. Can Jake Garrett bring the gap down? Is the Beamer just too strong around here, or has the Lamborghini got any response to the BMW driver in first place? Hodgburn is also in the pit lane. Matthew Hobbsey down P19, so he's also had some misfortune on the opening lap of this race. Qualified high for his standards, but fall backwards during the race. As we see the cars there making their way towards the penultimate corner, now going into the final corner they go. Has Jake got any response to Ewan Small? He needs it, because he's quite far down the championship, but there's plenty of points to be gained in the next few races of this season. Donington Park is next, which is one of the tracks I've been to in real life to watch the World Superbikes around there, as it was very good on that day with Toprak, the championship leader, who's from Turkey, dominating the races too. But Harry Palmer there hitting the curb too hard, almost lost the back end of the car. Nathan Booth is away from Jake Garrett, so Nathan might find himself under pressure, as I can watch on board with Harry Palmer to see he's not too far behind Nathan Booth in P3. picking up a slipstream, but not able to try and get alongside and overtake. His stream is delayed, by the way, so... Oh, it makes a big mistake. Does Harry Palmer? He slides the car. Does he save it? Comes back on track. Will anybody hit him? No, they won't. He says he's on the brakes, he can't do anything. And he rejoins then in last place. That's a shame for Harry Palmer there. The back end of the car looks unsettled going into the chicane and lost it fully. But I'm really thankful that nobody hit him going down there. That could have been dramatic indeed. As we'll see then Harry Palmer's name drop all the way to last place. And it's going to be a long comeback drive through there. There's no safety car around here to bring you back into play. And there is Harry Palmer just tumbling down the order. So what's happened to Jared Dunley? He's also fallen down the order too, I think. No, he's up into P5. So a few positions gained there as he overtook Menendez too. Menendez and Dunley were up there in the top two one time at the Laguna Seca Grand Prix. Both of them which hit Ewan Small. But Ewan came back that day to finish in P4. So not bad overall. Paul Kalina is all over the back of Pell. So we'll see if the BMW driver can find a way past of the McLaren. Big battle going on down there as Saba in P4 has picked up the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Now Menendez has got it. Menendez, we know he's one of those drivers that like to go for a very long stint on the same tyres. Who was that? Who was just spun? Can't quite tell who it is. Is it Saba? It is. Saba's gone for a spin at the exit of turn 1. He just set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. And now he's gone for a spin himself into turn 1. This track is very difficult indeed, but the gap between the top two is closing down between Jake Garrett and Ewan Small. Has he got some pace in the Lamborghini to hunt down the BMW driver? It should be a thrilling top two fight as well, especially with the difficulty around the circuit. A drop on concentration as Dory there cuts the corner completely and lost a lot of time towards Paul Kalina too. They were side by side, but Dory came off worse and now finds McCartney all over the back of him too. Alacon in P12. Seen a lot of drivers struggle around this circuit, which is not surprising indeed. So where is Harry Palmer right now? He's currently in, where is he? In P16 or P18, sorry. There he is. It's a long race from there. I was hoping to watch his stream and find Nathan Booth while I was commentating on the stream itself and watching his stream at the same time, but there's no point watching his stream anymore because he's all alone down there in P16, 4 seconds away from Hobbsy. The gap is 7/10 between Jake Garrett and Ewan Small, so it is closing down, and this should be a thrilling battle between the top two. I can't wait to see what goes on during this race between the top heavy contenders in this title championship fight. Jake Garrett has put a lot of pressure on people in the last few races. He has been in second place in the last few races. He has put the pressure on. He knows how to win, but with the likes of Ewan Small, it won't be easy. Matthew Pell gets dropped into P8. Josh Evandro overtakes him to go up into P7. Does the Buzz Lightyear car. He also spun on the first lap, didn't he? Back at Laguna Seca, but still came back to finish inside the top 10. So not a bad race considering the circumstances there for Joshua. He's putting big pressure on Verstappen right in front of him too. The gap is down to half a second. They're dropping Nathan Booth. They're dropping Jared Dunley, who's up into P4 now, after two drivers in front of him made a big mistake. Harry Palmer and Saba too. It's unfortunately down there for Saba in P15. I would have loved to see what he could have done as well up there in the order. A car bouncing on the track. There's a spinner. That's Verstappen. He hits Paul Kalina, I think. And Verstappen and Pell unfortunately came together. They didn't come together, but Verstappen spun and he hit Pell too. So Verstappen's been dropped down the order now. And that's a shame there for Urian down in P, wherever he is right now, because the timing screens don't update instantly. They update during each sector. Can Nathan Booth find himself in this battle? We saw a good battle between these three, I think, last season when they had their championship scrap. And I think Nathan Booth won the championship in season 1. But obviously I wasn't around to commentate because 1, I was back on the PS4, and 2, I had no interest in commentating for ACC until now. So Harry Palmer has got past Julian Van Vianen, who's down as P18 now. The big guys inside the top 10 making big mistakes, and therefore the people who don't really see in the top 10 making their way back up to the order, such as McCartney in P9. No offence to him, of course, but he has been down the order a lot this season, but he's back into P9. So if he runs a steady, clean race, he could find himself inside the top 10. Can McCartney in P9? but the gap is 5 tenths now between Jake Garrett and Ewan Small. The gap is constantly closing down. Catching is one thing, but overtaking is extremely difficult. Where is the best place to overtake around here? Probably down the straight, if you have the straight line speed, of course. I don't know if the Lamborghini has good straight line speed around here, but so far Jake Garrett is currently catching. Hudson Ewan Small down. The gap is back up into 9 tenths, so he has lost a bit of time. Has Jake Garrett down there. So Ewan Small, despite being under pressure, is still putting time on him. Further down the field though, a few drivers getting close. Chris back off Tobe, the BMW driver, another driver in the Lamborghini. And currently outside the top 10 is Christian, so we're looking to try and overtake Tobe if we can in the next place possible. The gap is 1.2 now, so it looks like Jake Garrett's lost a bit of time there towards Ewan Small. And naturally, Nathan Booth, who occupies the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, is there in P3, started to hunt down Jake Garrett. So is Ewan starting to show more pace? Is Jake starting to make more mistakes? Is Nathan there finding more pace himself in P3? We don't know what's going through the drivers' heads, of course. We can't really see what they're doing because we're off board, because we can't really go on board because I have to switch to drive if I want to do that, which is quite a pain, of course. And plus, when I switch to drive, it doesn't go through the order, it goes towards different drivers, which is a big problem because I want to see the order, of course. We go on board with Nathan Booth there, if we can, if I remember how to. Yeah, this is not really working out, is it? There we are, on board with the bonnet on Nathan JB. You can see that Jake Garrett's trying to close the gap down if he can. And the number 3 car has served his drive-through penalty. Here we are, they're coming through turn 5 before we head onto the back straight, before the chicane. Embrace yourself before going to the chicane, especially in the race when you've got a lot of concentration, a lot of pressure on your shoulders as well. It's so easy to make mistakes through here. You want to take a lot of curb, but do you trust your car to do that? You're going to have full faith and trust in your car to take those curbs, and also in yourself as well, because one slight slip up, one slight lapse of concentration, you will find yourself spinning. But Nathan Booth is trying to get closer to Jake Garrett there. Phil is in the pit lane. Joshua Banjo currently in a net P5 apparently, it says on that screen. So things must have happened down there. Or P6, sorry, my eyesight is not the best, so I can't really see. But yeah, Harry Palmer had his own scrap there with Matthew Pell. There's a car off in the background. Can't quite tell who that was. But Nathan Booth, and I think he sets up another fast stop for the Grand Prix. Improving all the time. Jake Garrett is trying to bring the gap down towards Ewan Small. And Harry Palmer is looking for a way past of Matthew Hobbsey. The pink car definitely looks like he's struggling. Harry Palmer just flirting with the grass there on the exit. Change it back to this camera angle, the camera angle I like the most. It's a shame I have to do that and change the camera angle like that, because I like to be in one big setting like an F1 where I'd have to click on different buttons or go to different settings to try and change what I want to do. But Harry Palmer then chasing down Matthew Hobbsey in P15. He didn't turn up for Laguna Seca. Can he keep Harry Palmer at bay? How much damage has Harry Palmer sustained as well? Because obviously he's not pitted, but gets a really good run out of the final corner. Can he get himself ahead into turn 1? They're going wheel to wheel right now. He gets a good launch, apparently, as we go down towards turn 1. He's ahead before the braking zone. Lovely move on Matthew Hobbsey and gets ahead of him. A slight snap of oversteer 2 to go with it, as I was on board with him at the same time. Jake Garrett has brought that gap down under a second, but the gap keeps changing all the time between these two. You just can't get close enough to try and overtake him. Where is the best place track? He is gaining a bit of time now on Ewan Small, so maybe dropping backwards, but going forwards at the same time, just dipping in and out of Ewan Small's 1 second range. Menendez is 9 seconds back, so not going to trouble P3, but he is got Josh Evandro out behind him, who's under pressure from Jared Dudley. Pulkalainen once again running a strong race, is the finish driver. Races in F1 as well, but I haven't kept up really with the F1, so I'm not quite sure how he's currently doing so far. F1 driver himself, and also, oh look at that, is Was that Saba trying to go around the outside? Had a really good run out as well, out of the corner. As Christian Chamo at the same time attacking and defending, but gotta watch out. He's right behind him. The man who's spawned in turn 1 wants those places back. Looking like he's got some decent pace. But that one, a big mistake, dropped him down the order. Now looking to try and get himself back inside the top 10. Hansen is putting pressure on Olakon right in front of him, but here comes Chamo overtaking McCartney now. Into turn 1 we go. McCartney does have the inside line, so will he force off Chamo? Chamo breaks earlier, knowing that probably happened, going down to turn 1, and he runs off the track himself. So does the driver behind, which is M. Saba in P11. So where is the next best place to overtake? Chamo's got the run of McCartney as we climb towards turn 4 and turn 5. Will it be down the straight? Saba's looking interested in the background too. Here we are then. The battle for P9 continues between these three. Here comes Chamo now. Has he got a straight line speed to overtake McCartney going down? It's chicane. It's getting so close between the two. There's contact between those two. And they're going to spin. Well, he saves the car, does McCartney. And Chamo tapped the back of him. Here comes Saba now taking advantage. He does. And McCartney's offline there. So I think Christian Chamo just shoving McCartney through the corners, which cost him a lot as he lost the balance of the car. I don't know how he saved it, but great save indeed, as there's a flashing light at the back of the car there. So McCartney's not happy about that one. He's got his right indicator on, which is convenient because the right hand is coming up. He's probably forgot to turn his right indicator off. We'll see then, now can Saba put pressure on rotation in front of him, because he's looking really quick so far. The gap is 2 seconds between Nathan Booth and Jay Garrett, so Nathan Booth is not able to gain on Jay Garrett. The gap is 9 tenths between those two, so we'll see then, can Jay Garrett hunt down and overtake Ewan Small? Ewan Small missed on a victory due to the collision he had with Michael Eccles to Jared Dunley. But so far coming back here strong, and he's a force to be reckoned with. Despite no practicing earlier, Jay Garrett's done a lot of practice beforehand, whereas Ewan Small has done a bit of practice but not sweated it out like Jay Garrett has. I think somebody's left the session there, so goodbye to them, whoever it was. So keep an eye on the top two. It's so important for these two not to make any mistakes. The pressure is intense indeed. Full concentration between these two, going hammer and tong. I'm not quite sure how they would have done in F1 because Jake Garrett did race in F1 but not since the 2022 game. He commentated with me back in 23, but Ewan Small in 2023 was okay. He scored a podium now and then, took pole a few times. I remember the Mexican Grand Prix for some reason between Ewan Small there. Jake Garrett was the one commentating me back in the Spanish Grand Prix at the time. His good friend of Chihuahua, FOL Sahilu. It's a shame that Sahilu does not race on ACC. He does have a wheel, but he decided not to race in ACC for some reason. Not quite sure what he's doing nowadays. Maybe he's got important stuff going on like college or university, which I know Ewan Small will have, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, good for him, but sadly for us because he won't be here on the circuit. And he's got bigger and better things coming to him. And now here's a three-way battle. That's McCartney, Tope, and we'll see how this goes down. McCartney and Tope are good friends, of course, so hopefully as he disappears off the track, just lagging all over the place. So his internet connection issues are starting to trouble once again. Where is he right now? I don't know what's happened to him. He's gone. The gap is 6 tenths. That's the closest we've seen it so far, other than the first lap of the race. We'll see where can Jake Garrett stride. Jared Dunley is putting pressure on his McLaren driver in front of him, his fellow McLaren manufacturer car. Can Jared Dunley find a way past of Josh Evanjo? Josh looking really strong too in this race. Had a difficult race back in Laguna Seca, of course, due to that contact in the first lap as the full beams are on. As we go down towards the chicane we go. Bouncing over those curves, taking a lot of curves on the entry as you want to do before we make our way towards the carousel on the right-hander. A lot of speed is required through here. Kind of a lot of speed at the same time. Be very careful not to go off the circuit too. It can catch a lot of people as the gaps continue to update. The gap is now 6 tenths between you and Small as the lights are blinding me. Funny how that blinds me because it is a game, of course, so it shouldn't really affect me too much. As we go down towards the left-hander we go. What can Jake Garrett do? Has he got the pace now? Can he find a way through on Ewan Small? We haven't really seen these two battle quite a lot actually, despite them running first and second majority of the races. That's because the last time they battled was at the French GP, and Ewan Small ended up taking Jake Garrett out on that day. He spun him, then Jake Garrett spun again, which cost him and unfortunately dropped him down the order. The gap keeps fluctuating between P1 and P2. Jake Garrett wishing he had DRS on the back of Ewan Small to overtake him, but obviously we can't have DRS on these cars. You don't have anything other than the engine mapping on your car to turn your engine up or down. These cars have different mapping systems as well, so it's not really the same layout or setup as other cars, of course. Engine turn up to 1. Christian Chamo now putting pressure on Dolly in front of him. There he is, the only Ferrari driver in this race. Will he dare make a move on the inside of the chicane? And you can see Dory's fighting back. That's turn 1, sorry. They're quite far back, aren't these guys? Jared Dunley's right to the back of Joshua Evangelo too as we make our way out of turn 5. So we'll see, is he close enough to get a slipstream and pick up turn 5? No, he's not. He's too far behind then, so we can't really make that move. But Chamo, what's he doing? Yeah, he's too far behind his nearest rival too, so really can't do anything about it. Harry Palmer into P13. I'm still watching his stream, by the way, and he's currently hunting down Tope right in front of him. And he's got Alacon right behind too. He just overtaken Alacon, so managed to get himself up into P12. As you can see, bouncing over the curves there. His stream is so delayed, it's unbelievable. I'm way ahead. Obviously, there is a delay on every stream, of course, so just looking down and looking up to see what Harry Palmer's doing. Paul Kalainen there running in P7, 4.5 is the gap between himself and Dunley, and he's got Dory up behind, but Dory's under pressure from Chandler. The gap is 5 seconds, so Paul Kalainen looks alone during this race, and probably the race he needs after a dismal last few races as well. I remember him spinning a few times as well in the last few races, but the gap is 4 tenths, and that's the closest it's been for a long time. So where is the moment Jake Garrett can overtake Ewan Small? Ewan Small will be looking in his mirrors to see where Jake Garrett is. Has the Lamborghini got straight line speed? Can Ewan Small defend this? As Nathan Booth gets close as well, trying to get close but not close enough. As the driver in front of Nathan backs off as well, as he is a back marker. That is, I think, Robert Allen down there in P18. I really have to squint to see who it is. And Christian Chamo then, has he overtaken Dory? Yes, he has. That was a turn 1, so made the move on the inside and got himself up into P8. So can he close the gap down towards Paul Kalainen? We'll see if he can do it or not. The gap is about, let's see if it updates in a few minutes' time. It is, what is it? As Dory's trying to come back at him, but no way through on that occasion, so the gap will update shortly. 7 seconds, that's a lot of time to bring down, but there's still 40 minutes left to go in this race, so he's got plenty of time to focus on Paul Kalainen right in front of him. Harry Palmer now on the back of Tope. He was close on the back straight, was Harry. He was so close, but he couldn't go for a move. He had the slipstream on the driver ahead, but wasn't fully alongside going to break his own chicane, as Tope was able to stay ahead of him on that occasion. But for how much longer though, because Palmer, as you can see, still got some decent pace despite his spin. And will he dare try to go on the outside into this right-hander we go? I don't think he can he? No? I'm not quite sure. This is not the best camera angle, unfortunately, but as you can see, trying to go around the outside now. And we're going side by side out of the corner between Harry and Tope. We'll see who gets there first on the brakes. Can Tope defend this? No, because Harry Palmer has the outside line. There is a yellow flag in front of us. Who is that? That's a spinner. That's number 7 who has just spun. Was it? I don't know who it was. It's Menendez. Adrian Menendez has spun, unfortunately. So running up there, I think, in P6 at the time, it's at the top 5. And Jared Dunley has pitted then, so that's an early pit stop there for Jared in comparison to the rest of the field. You know, some people like to go towards, we saw that between Sebastian Wistrup and Menendez in the last few races. They went for a very long stint on the same tyres for about the whole race until they pitted on the final lap. That's how long you can take your tyres around here. It depends all about tyre management, of course, and if your tyres are overheating, and if you can manage it through the corners. They do slide around a lot if your tyres are old and overheating. It's all about how you manage them. So Sapa's got himself up to P8, right behind Dory too. Darby's driven a decent race so far in P7. Can he keep it up? I know he struggled as well in the last few races, but doing well so far is the Ferrari driver. Like I said, the only Ferrari in this race too. Saba's looking to try and regain some lost ground after that spin in turn 1. Josh Evangelo now up into P4 after 2 people in front of him made mistakes. Paul Kalainen promoted up to P5. 20 seconds is the gap between Nathan and Josh Evangelo. I think Nathan will be quite alone in this race. He just can't get the gap down, can Nathan Booth? He's got some decent pace, but just cannot bring the gap down, unfortunately. And we've got 3 different manufacturers inside the top 3, the BMW, the McLaren and the Lamborghini so far. So far, Jake Garrett just can't seem to bring that gap down enough. Try and look for an overtake on Newman Small. Just has to stay behind the Beamer. And Saba is right at the back of Darby too, looking to try and make an overtake somewhere. But where is the best possible place? We're coming towards the penultimate corner right now. Before we head to the final corner, is turn 1 going to be the best place for him? Gap is 5/10 as Nathan Booth gap updates to 3.2, so Nathan is losing time constantly between the top 2. But can Saba get close enough to try and make a move? He's just too far back. Is the McLaren, yeah. But Jake out there in P2. Go on board with a few of these drivers to see how they manage in this race. Want to go on board with Saba down there. There he is, pulls to the right hand side. Is the straight line speed good enough? Can he get ahead? Yes, he does then. Nice move there for Saba. Gets hit from Dory behind him. Probably lag as well affecting him. But makes the move stick, and now he's up into P7. Love the engine noise as well from this car. It sounds really nice as well. As I go back on board. No, not yet, because I need to put it on there. There we go. 6/10 now as the gap between P2 and P3 continues to extend, of course, between those guys. Here we are down to turn 1. This is the closest Jake has been so far ever since the start of the race. He looked for a move but can't quite do it. Ewan Small is under big pressure now after holding back Jake Garrett throughout the majority of this race. He finds himself under big pressure. This should get very spicy indeed. Nathan Booth has pitted in P3. So he probably feels like the tyres have had enough and therefore can't keep up with the top 2. But yeah, Small finds himself under big pressure now from Jake Garrett. And we'll see if there are any moves going on down here. Too far back, of course. But where is the best place to overtake? Ewan Small looks like he got some decent cornering speed, which is able to keep Jake Garrett at bay. But the top 2 are back together. And this should get very interesting indeed. The last time these 2 came together was at the French GP. Jake Garrett was the leader. Ewan Small carried too much speed to the corners and tapped the back of him and put him in a spin going into turn 11. He's getting ever so close into the right hander, but not close enough. But I feel like the move is definitely on now. Jake has found some more pace in the Lamborghini to try and hunt down Ewan Small in P1. The championship leader is Ewan Small, finished in P4 too. Back at Laguna Seca. He has won one race this season, surprisingly, from Ewan Small, finished second for the rest of them. So only one win there to Ewan Small's name. It seems quite strange actually, because he's always been up there, but I think he's had problems of his own. Who has got the most race wins this season? I think it's Adrian Menendez and Jay Garrett combined. Jay Garrett has won more races than Ewan Small in P1. And it's like Ewan Small into the pit lane. It is. So we won't see a move on the track. So Jay Garrett has got the outright pace now to try and pull away and try and get the overcut on Ewan Small in P2, because he got clean air in front of him. Nobody's in front of him for a long time. There is a car on the back straight at number 22 or number 24 or number 28, sorry. I can't really see because my eyes are terrible. My glasses, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see anything. So where is Nathan in comparison to this? He's down at P13, so he's got some nice clean air to use, as there is a white flag on the circuit. What does that mean? Is it rain? What does white flag mean? There's a slower car in front, is it? should know what the flags mean because I've been a fan of racing for a long time, so it is quite embarrassing for that. But we'll see then, where will Ewan Small rejoin? He should rejoin ahead of Nathan. I don't think the overcuts that powerful around here, of course, unless Nathan's had a really good lap, put it together immediately out of the pit lane. And we'll see then, Joshua Vanjo's also in the pit lane, promotes Pulka lining up into P2 and Chamo in P3. But as the timing screens update, we'll see if Nathan Booth can get ahead of Ewan Small. Where is he right now on the track in comparison to the rest of the field? So there he is, Ewan Small. Stays ahead of Nathan Booth. He's down into P6 is Nathan Booth. There's Ewan Small, sorry. Went on board with the wrong drivers there. So there they are, going out of turn 5 on the back straight. Nathan nowhere to be seen as he's kept Nathan at bay. There he is, just on the back straight himself. Will Jake Garrett respond on this lap? We're about to find out then if Jake Garrett does make his pit stop. Saba's back into P3. He's still hunted down rotation, but actually he's lost a bit of time now towards rotation. And now Dari's pushed him under pressure in P4, so Dari might find a way back. And we are halfway through during this race then, so 30 minutes has absolutely flown by. And Adrian Menendez there putting pressure on Dylan Hansen as we see them going side by side now. Which one of these two will get ahead of each other before we make our way down towards the right hand of the heavy braking zone? We'll see. Adrian Menendez has the inside line on Hansen. But Hansen, will he do a switch back? No, he can't, because Adrian Menendez does the block pass. Nice move there, but no, he gets a good exit, does Hansen, trying to go around the outside. Here we are then, into his left-hander we go, and I think, yeah, he stays in front of him, does Menendez. Decent race there as Jake Garrett continues to extend his stint, so he feels comfortable on those tyres. Now he's been released from the dirty air from Ewan Small. Does he feel comfortable enough to push and extend the stint? There's one thing I do to forget to mention. So if you go for an early pit stop and don't change tyres, you will have the heavy fuel, won't you? Whereas the guys who stayed out there will have lighter fuel, so they're able to push harder. And despite pitting, it's probably not an advantage because you're having heavier fuel, so therefore you won't have the pace advantage over the guys who haven't pitted. Unless, of course, you change tyres. I'm not quite sure how much of a tyre... Oh, who is that? A spun. It's Saba once again, who's gone for a spin. That's like the chicane this time. He'll be kicking himself because that's his second spin in this race. He was looking really good so far, was Saba. Both Saba and Harry Palmer, the ones who spun early in the Grand Prix, making their recovery drive. Harry Palmer will be happy about that one. But once again, another mistake there. As Ewan Small now, he's started to close in on Hansen. He hasn't pitted just yet in this race as Denziz. The Danishman hasn't pitted just yet, so he might hold up Ewan Small, which might allow Jake to pull away as well if that happens. If he does get held up, how long for? Can he overtake him immediately when he catches the back of the McLaren driver in front of him? So we'll see then if it affects him by staying behind Hansen, because Adrian Menendez is just further up the road as well. So a bit of work to do for Ewan Small, not the work he was hoping for. But here he is, up the inside, and that was a great move indeed. No problems there whatsoever. Didn't get held up for long, did the Scotsman. He'll be happy about that one, as Hansen is flashing his lights there. I don't think there was contact made. Maybe Hansen just outbroke himself, probably saying nice move there from Ewan Small. The leader then, the net leader, continues to disappear down the road. And when will Jake Garrett decide? Jake Garrett usually does the undercut sometimes, or pits a lap later, but this time he decides to stay out there doing the Adrian Menendez strategy, because it really worked out for Adrian back in the Laguna Seca. Because remember, he was P4 before his pit stops, and when he finally pitted, he rejoined in first place. So it worked on that occasion. Will it work for Jake this time here at Watkins Glen? McCartney rides the back of Taupe. These two have been close together in this race. We'll see what happens between those two. Harry Palmer has also pitted. You can see the car bouncing there, and he has his double lights on too. I love that. I love those first few corners in the first set or second set. It can be really difficult. I don't really know the first or second split, because I haven't really done much research on this track. But Jake Garrett then continues to stay out on the circuit. He feels confident enough. He's down at turn 1, so staying out there for an extra few laps, because once the fuel burns off, he's quite low on fuel too. So he might have the pace advantage over Ewan Small, because Ewan Small's on a heavier tank. can't really tell what the gap is between Ewan and Jake because I can't really figure it out. But Ewan is now on the back of Menendez. The last time these two came together was back at the Laguna Seca Grand Prix. That was down at turn 5. Will they keep it clean this time? Hopefully, you think. Ewan Small's just pitted, but how much time will Ewan lose behind Menendez? That's the question. How hard is Menendez going to defend against Ewan? It's crucial for the championship. He may be on the same race as him, but he's in a championship fight with him. So therefore, he wants to defend as much as he can to see if he can try and take points away from Ewan if Jake does finish in first place. Ewan Small's going for his second win of the season, and Menendez does have 2 to his name as well. He won in Valencia, he won in Laguna Seca last time out last week. This time he's in P3, and net P3 because other people are yet to respond to pit. Has Ewan Small got the straight line speed? He's in the slipstream on Menendez. He needs to overtake Menendez cleanly and hope there's no contact. There's no point risking it all. And here we are then on this straight. Here we go down towards turn 6 and turn 7. This chicane we go, and he can't overtake him, not in this section. He has to do it up the inside of one of these fast speed corners, but where will he do it? Probably down to the breakers on the turn 8, I think. As we round the carousel before we go into the loop, or the boot, sorry. He's trying to go around the outside. Does he have the speed? Does he have the grip and confidence to do it? Will he go out wide? Yes, he will, but keeps it on the track. He's not able to overtake Menendez, so more time lost there from Ewan Small. As once again, he has to stay behind. This might bring Nathan back into play. There he is at P6, although Hanson's just in front of him. I did look at the gap. It was the wrong gap, so apologies about that. I thought Nathan was 1 second behind Ewan, but actually, he's scrapping away with Hanson in P5. I think Nathan's just overtaken Hanson, which he has. He puts himself into P5, but the longer this happens, the more time Nathan and Jake Garrett will gain on Ewan Small. So ever more frustrated is the Scotsman, and this will really help Jake Garrett as the more time they lose. No way through on Menendez. Is this the moment where it could cost Ewan Small later on in this race? As we make our way now towards the final corner, will he get a good run out of here to go down the inside into turn 1? Let's see, they're not close enough to make a move into 1, so probably down towards chicane if he can. We've seen plenty of contact down at the chicane. He's not close enough to make a move into 1, so has to think about going down the inside in the chicane then. Will he get a good run up turn 2 and turn 3 and try and overtake him? Get a good slipstream in the back of him. The slipstream not really effective as it is in F1. Doesn't have the DRS of course, so we can't really use that or the overtake button. But here we are then down this straight. Not close enough, or will he try and outbrake him? No, he can't. There's no way you're going to try and outbrake someone there. Trying to scare him, trying to put him offline. He gets a good run and he overtakes him. Wow. He got a really good exit out of turn 7 and did it. What a lovely move there. And Jake Garrett has pitted then, so immediately responds as Ewan Small. And there's another car in front of us for Ewan Small. It's not Saber and P2, it is Saber, so one more driver to dispatch for Ewan Small. So how easy or how difficult will it be to try and overtake him? We know that Saber's tyres were probably hot due to those spins. His tyres are probably old too, so I don't think much defence is thrown at Ewan Small. But we'll see then, can he overtake him? This is helping Nathan Booth slowly but surely gaining. There he is in the background of your picture, just trying to gain on Ewan Small. Can Jake Garrett rejoin ahead of Smalley Balls? We're about to find out now. In the car, they're making their way now towards the penultimate corner, and Small finds himself right behind Saber for P2, but not in the scenario Saber wanted to, because he was running inside the top 3 as Ewan Small goes out wide, but he was running inside the top 3 before he spun twice, did Saber. With those 2 spins, he's got some mighty pace. Is that Jake Garrett X in the pit lane? We'll see what happens down into turn 1. Ewan Small's too far back, but where is Jake Garrett in comparison to this? Where is he right now? There he is, he's done it! Jake Garrett has rejoined ahead of Ewan Small, and those battles have probably cost him. So Small, unfortunately, down to P3. He was leading this race, but now during the pit stop phase, he's behind Jake Garrett. Does he have the pace to try and catch back up towards? There he is, flying through the corners there in the carousel. And here comes Ewan Small now, side by side, in the chicane. Who's lost the brakes between these two? It is Ewan. He goes up into P2 there. He'll be absolutely frustrated. What's the gap between those two? 15 seconds? That can't be the gap, surely. Maybe he is the gap, actually, despite Ewan being stuck in that traffic there. But Jake Garrett has used the low fuel to try and pull time on Ewan Small, because Ewan Small pitted, more fuel, more weight to the car, and Jay Garrett's got some good pace on those tyres. Staying out later in comparison to your rivals has worked. It's worked with Sebastian Wistrup in the past. It worked for Adrian Menendez back in Valencia. Also worked at Laguna Seca too. Because I don't think these guys pit for tyres. They have to do one stop, but it's either fuel or tyres. Obviously it's fuel, but you don't have to pit for new tyres, of course, if you don't want to. If you feel confident to take them all the way to the end. It depends on your driving style and your setup of the car too, to see if those tyres can make it towards the end. It's like in MotoGP when they don't pit for new tyres, they just try and go towards the end on the same set for the whole race. It's all about managing tyres, all about not attacking in the first few laps before you get into the phase where you can settle down and fight later in the Grand Prix to try and win. That's what Pecco Bagnaia does in MotoGP. He doesn't push the tyres too hard in the early stages. Whereas Jorge Martin does. He ruins his front tyres because the tyres are overheating on the front left, and therefore Pecco is able to get away with the tyre advantage he has. That's what happened to Jorge Martin, staying behind Pecco Bagnaia for too long in the early stages with heavy fuel. And once that happened, Jorge Martin's tyres started to fade away slightly, and Pecco Bagnaia won the Austrian Grand Prix to extend the championship lead in a thrilling MotoGP championship battle between Jorge Martin and Pecco Bagnaia. Pecco Bagnaia looking for his third championship, and Jorge Martin is looking for his first championship in his career. Joined back in 2020 on the Premac, scored a few wins, but he's still hunted down Pecco Bagnaia after challenging him twice in 2 seasons, but unfortunately just started to slip back. We know that Pecco Bagnaia, of course, is on the factory bike of the Ducati. Jorge Martin is on a satellite bike, so not all the upgrades that the Ducati has. Although they should be quite equal, because Premac is also a Ducati bike, but they're a smaller team, they're a satellite team, not a factory bike. So the gap now between Ewan Small is 13.9. I saw it at 15 seconds at one point, so the gap is 13.9. Could it be another situation where Nathan Booth was hunting down Adrian Menendez and he got the gap down towards 12 seconds towards 4? Could that be the same scenario? So let's keep it on the gaps. 13.9 is the reference. I don't think you'll catch him, but I'd love to see the gaps go down because it also makes it spicy. Also asks a lot of questions to see if he can try and hunt him down. 30.3, that's about 6 tenths gained in the final sector alone. Now Dari versus Pulkalainen. Dari was running inside the top 10. There's 3 drivers yet to pit, which is Hansen, Menendez and Saba, who have finally pitted in this race. What could Saba have done if he didn't make those 2 spins and mistakes? Jair Palmer is currently down in P9, so he's inside the top 10 ahead of Christian Chamo. Still on board on his stream. I'm the only person watching his stream, of course. The gap is 30.0 now between Ewan Small and Jay Garrett. I don't think Ewan Small will get him, of course. It could be another situation like Laguna Seca where Nathan Booth was closing down Adrian Menendez but not able to get him. Hobbsy said lap 1 damaged. The rear wing was damaged, Hobbsy, so I'm not quite sure. Yeah, he's out of the race, is Matthew Hobbsy, so he's gone. It's a shame there because he was running inside the top 10 at one point. Look at the car drifting today. You can hear the skid in the car there, the squealing on those tyres. Complaining. Saba, where has he rejoined then? There he is, out of turn 3, I think it is. Going towards turn 4. The Mighty Atom says it looks awesome at night. Yeah, it does actually, but the only problem is I don't have my glasses on me. I lost my glasses. I'm not quite sure where they are. I was watching them once I was watching the MotoGP race, but just all of a sudden lost them and I can barely see the screen. It is absolutely blurry to me, but oh well, we move. We try and do our best. Wow, the gap is 12.4. Gain about 1.5 seconds in 2 laps as Ewan Small. Great pace indeed. There's 16 minutes left to go in this race, so it might not be over yet. It all depends how much time Ewan Small can take out of Jay Garrett's advantage. 12.0 now is the gap. Could the chase be on between Ewan Small and Jay Garrett? He had great pace in the first stint until Jay Garrett was closing him down. And the Mighty Atom says the screen looks dirty, the camera looks dirty. Probably it does, but maybe the dirt flicked up by other drivers spinning. Probably what caused it. How are you doing, Mighty Atom? Are you missing F1? Is this the end of the first sector? Yeah, it is. The gap is 11.7 now. 3/10 taken out of him in the first sector. Ewan Small is flying. There is 16 minutes left to go in this race. Do you know what? He could be at the back of Jake, but overtaking him will be a big problem. I can't wait to see when or if Ewan closes down on Jake. Which one of these two is going to claim a victory here around Watkins Glen? Nathan Booth, despite having the fastest lap of the race, is still in P3. 6.2 is the gap now between himself and Ewan Small, running a very lonely race down there. But I don't think he'll man, of course. "15 minutes left in this race. How much time per lap can Ewan Small take out Jake Garrett's advantage? It should be 1 second a lap if he wants to do it, of course. I'm missing the real F1, yes, and CRL lol, but get to race tomorrow in the Euro Mini League. I missed the real F1 too, and also the CRL League, because I commentated since the beginning, since 2020, and I really do miss it. I wish F1 24 was back, but obviously not everybody likes the game. Some people I know don't have the game installed. But yes, I do miss commentating, of course. There's a lot of action in the past few races, but unfortunately the game's gone downhill, and we moved on to ACC. Real F1 will return to Zandvoort next week. Next weekend we finally wait until it happens again. The wait will be over. And Harry Palmer is on the back of Saba then. So Saba just came out of the pit lane, didn't he? And now he's fighting with the man from Manchester in P8. We'll see, can he catch him? Well, yeah, he is catching him, but can he overtake? Quarter past 9 in the UK. It is getting dark out here, as it is in Watkins Glen. Obviously we're coming towards the end of the summer almost, so it will get darker and darker as we enter the what's the season after summer? Is it spring? No, it's not spring. I don't know what the other season is. I can't believe I said that on stream. I should have kept quiet about that one. We all disadvantage the same with 2024. Yeah, I agree actually. That's a good point to make, Mighty Atom. What did you say? Because I can't really see it on the screen. So we all disadvantage the same with 2024. We should make the best of it. That's a good point, you know. It all depends who can adapt quicker towards the game, who can make the less mistakes on that game. It's so easy to lose the car now, especially with the braking too. The rear brakes will snatch on you. And then just fighting Pulkalainen. It is fall. Fall is the next season after summer. That must be really embarrassing to say. I literally went brain dead after a few laps. 10.8 now is the gap between Ewan Small and Jake Garrett, but I don't think it'll be enough, you know, to try and catch him. Trying to get the gap down as much as he can, but it won't be enough. We'll see the gap now towards the end of the first sector. Josh Evandro is being hunted down by Jared Dunley. 10.6 now is the gap between those two. We'll see what Jared Dunley's doing towards Josh Evandro. There's the Bus Lightyear car, followed by the McLaren. These two will be close together majority of the time. Josh Evandro running a good race in P5, gone unnoticed, but he's kept out of trouble, made no mistakes. As I say that, he could make one in the next few laps, but hopefully, fingers crossed, he doesn't. But Jared Dunley's put in big pressure. Jared Dunley retired back at Laguna Seca after spinning. He was up there in the top three, but it all went downhill after lap 1 when he made contact with Ewan Small. The gap is now 9.8 seconds between those two, and Jared Dunley's looking for a way past, but of course he can't do it. I can't wait for the next 10 races, you know. After Zandvoort, I can't wait for the next 9 races, because that should be very interesting. You got Monza, Singapore, Baku, USA 2 times with Texas and Las Vegas, Mexico, Brazil, Abu Dhabi, which can be decent now and then, especially with the track modifications. And there's another one. I had it in my head. I just had it in my head a few months ago. Now it's gone. Qatar's another good track. So I can't wait for the second half of the season. Can McLaren bring the gap down towards Red Bull and potentially win this championship in 2024? The season nobody expected other than Red Bull dominated after coming off a high in 2023. The championship sealed by Red Bull very early in the season after their domination. Won 20 out of 22 races. Perez and Sainz were the only two drivers to win, other than Verstappen. Verstappen claiming 19 victories this season, but I dare say that won't happen again. I think he's got 7 this season, or 8 as Max Verstappen, but I don't think he won't beat his record from last season. He's gone on a 4-win streak as Verstappen. I'll talk about Verstappen. Jurien Van Vijn has gone out this race too, so he's also retired. Obviously on PSN he's called QVR Verstappen, hence why you hear me say Verstappen time to time. Gavin Dunley's got off the track at turn 1, so might lost a bit of time, but the gap is 9.2. The gap goes down constantly, but it won't be enough, unfortunately, for Ewan Small. He is gaining a bucket load of time. 8.3, wow, look at that. Gain 9/10 in about 1 sector. That's unbelievable. Can he continue finding that time? Gain another second on Nathan too. He is flying out there, Ewan Small. Surprised he ain't got the fast lap of the Grand Prix yet. He should do with the fuel load going down. But obviously the tyres will be quite hot at the stage as well, so the gap is 8.3. They've been on the same tyres since the start of the race, of course, so the tyres won't be at their best, of course, but the fuel will get burned down. And Josh Evanjo is doing his absolutely best to try and keep Jared Dunlop behind, just maintaining P5. This is the closest battle so far on the track between these two. 7.7, that's a 5/10 is taken out in the middle sector there, has Ewan Small. The time has been continuously going down, but let's say if he does catch Jake Garrett, the main question is, can he overtake him? That's the biggest problem he will have. Catches one thing, overtaking is another thing. In the first stint, we saw Jake Garrett hunt down Ewan Small. Now it's the other way. The pendulum has swung towards Jake Garrett's way, but with Ewan hunting him down, can he catch him? 7.3 now, I think it says. My eyesight's not the best today because I'm not wearing glasses, as I said so many times, but just to make sure that you guys know, Hudson is still yet to pit, by the way, in P4. He has not pitted just yet. And Josh Evanjo still defends from Jared Dunley there in P6. We'll see, can Lando Norris win any more races this season? What about Mercedes? Because Mercedes have won 3 out of 4 races. Silverstone, Austria, and at the Belgian Grand Prix. Mercedes have been looking very strong recently. 7.1, wow! But the time is constantly ticking down towards the end of the race. I think he needs to find about 2 more seconds per lap if he wants to hunt him down. But Jared Dunley there putting big pressure on Josh, coming out on carousel, going down into the boot section. Will he try and look for a different line to try and carry much better speed on the corner? Switching lines, of course. Will he go down the inside into the next right-hander we go? Josh Evanjo stays where he is, forcing Dunley to go all the way around the outside, but there's no way through, no space around the outside to do it. I said 7.3, didn't I? So what's the gap now? 6.8, so only half a second gained on the middle sector. Well, I say only half a second gained in the middle sector, that's a big gap to take out in the middle sector. But I think they're both catching Hansen because he hasn't just pitched yet. He's quite low on fuel, but he's probably going towards the end of the race, or maybe pitting 1 or 2 minutes before the race ends to go and complete his mandatory 1 stop. Hi Palmer though did overtake Saba somewhere on the lap, but he's up into P7 now. The gap is 6.6 between Garrett and Small, so 8.3 to 6.6 in 1 lap is incredible. About 1.5 seconds, but here comes Dunley now. But Josh has the inside line, the racing line is hard to go on the outside of turn 1. Will Josh outbrake himself? Will Dunley get a better exit? Let's have a look right now. He does get a better exit, gets the run out of turn 1 to go side by side into turn 2. Does he make it stick? Can he get ahead of him? As we make our way now towards the left-hander, uphill. There's contact there. Is he in the wall? Yes, he is. They both make contact. They're both in the wall and spin together. Which one of them comes off worse? Who's got the most damage on the car? And you can see, I think Dunley's very frustrated there. Remember, AJ and Dunley made the same move and made the same contact there going down into turn 3. Both collected each other, both spinning in the wall, and Dunley's got severe damage. He can barely keep the car straight as the lights are also fading away on his car. Yeah, it's a shame there for Dunley. Sorry, I think it's a shame that, yeah, it is Dunley, sorry. Not quite sure, I'm getting confused between Hudson there. Josh, is the car okay? And Harry Palmer now could sense P5. So the battle will be on between Harry and, I think, Josh Evandro. Red Bull defo had changed that car. Might be as awesome second half of the season, neutral, with 4 teams fighting for wins. I think Ferrari, they just don't have the car ready, do they? They just drop off. Like, Ferrari is one of those teams that can be up there in one race and fall backwards in another. They've always been that way all the time this season. Last good performance was on the Monaco Grand Prix, although Sainz did get a podium a few races ago, but Ferrari has had a yo-yo season, up and down all the time. 2 wins for Ferrari on the season with Sainz and Leclerc, both drivers winning. 3 wins for Hamilton and Russell, 2 towards Hamilton, 1 towards Russell. McLaren only got 2 wins this season. That's funny to say. Mercedes have got more wins than McLaren this season. That is very weird to say indeed, very bizarre, considering McLaren has always been challenging Red Bull in the last few races ever since Miami. McLaren have got 2 with Lando and Oscar. Lando winning Miami, Oscar winning Hungary. Is Oscar Piastri going to be the better driver in the second half of the season? Because Oscar's one of those cool drivers. He's really calm, really composed, and he looks like he's sorted his long race pace as well, because he has been struggling on tyres, as Oscar. Max will do enough to win the title, I think, but I think Merck will finish strong. Yeah, I think Max Verstappen will win the Drivers' Championship. That's no question about it. Anybody who thinks otherwise is delusional. I'll say it straight. But the championship fight, the constructors, will go down to the wire between McLaren and Red Bull. It all depends about Perez, isn't it? About what Perez could do in the second half of the season, because he's still sticking with the team. I'm not quite sure why they made that decision, but we know why. It's not because of Perez's good looks, it's because of money. But Josh Evandro there, now under pressure from Harry Palmer out behind. We'll see, can Harry strike on him? Hansen hasn't pitted yet during this race. The gap is down to 5.2. It's all about money these days, unfortunately. You could have really good talent, really good skills, but like Lance Stroll, you just need the money and that's it. Be a mediocre driver, have some money in your back pocket, get into F1 like that way. Nikita Mazepin, Nicholas Latifi, Lance Stroll being the biggest one. But Josh Evandro then under massive pressure from Harry Palmer. He could be defenceless due to his damage on the car. He hit the wall really hard, did Josh Evandro. And now Harry Palmer can sense P5 in his sights. Will he overtake him? Hansen is in the pit lane, so the battle for P4 then is on between these two. Not close enough towards turn number 1. Now I was watching Harry Palmer stream. You know, Josh and Harry are in the same party as each other. There's 3 minutes left to go in this race. And the closest battle so far is between these two. Palmer versus Harry. Last time these two battled was for a podium back in the French GP. This time it's for P4, so not much in it between these two. Josh Evandro just stays ahead for the time being. He's coping with the damage really well, better than expected. The gap's gone down to 4.8, so it's over now. Christian Chalmers ahead of Hansen, who's just came out of the pit lane. But Jake Garrett will win this race ahead of Ewan Small. And Jake Garrett's looking for his 3rd win of the season, and he'll be the driver with the most wins. Here comes Harry Palmer now, trying to go on the outside. Josh is late to the brakes there, so Harry Palmer will not get him around the outside. Where is the next place to strike? Going uphill into this left-hander. We're about to find out now. As we drop towards the right-hander, we go the heavy braking zone. The gap is 4.3 between Ewan Small and Jake. The chase is over. Jake Garrett should be able to win this Grand Prix, unless something major happens, of course, between himself and Ewan Small. It was that pit stop that decided the whole trajectory of this race to see who will win and come out on top. It was Ewan Small getting held up behind 2 drivers, Eckholt and Hansen. Took a long time to get past them. That's why he lost a lot of time. Looking back, Ewan Small wish he stayed out there, but he's stuck in traffic for a few laps before he overtook them. Jake Garrett, who rejoined in with no traffic as Ewan Small is closing the gap down between himself and Garrett. What's the gap this time? It is 3.8, but it won't be enough as the time continues to tick down. Harry Palmer's got about 2 more laps to try and see if he could try and overtake Josh Evandro. Can Josh maintain P4 there? As we come on to the back straight, does the McLaren have straight line speed? Well, they're both in McLaren, so it don't really matter. It depends on the setup. Here we are side by side, a track race down the chicane. There is no way they're going to go wheel to wheel here because it would be very risky if they do indeed. We've seen what happened before when people go side by side there. It ends in tears. But as we make our way now towards the carousel, does Harry Palmer get a drive out here to try and get anywhere near Joshua? Going down into the boot. And the leader is on the final lap. Jake Garrett has the victory in his sights. He's down at turn 1. Ewan's also down at turn 1. But the battle for P4 continues between Josh Evandro and Harry Palmer to decide who will get 4th place in this Grand Prix. Christian Chamo is on the back of Sabas. That's another battle for P4 there. But I want to keep an eye on Jake Garrett to see where he is because I don't want to miss him winning this race. There he is on the back straight, so we can watch this battle for a few minutes time, or a few seconds, sorry, because there's only about 1 minute and 44 seconds for this lap. So we watch him to see where he is. He should have this win in the bag. Human Sport can't bring that gap down, unfortunately. These two quite far away from Ewan and Jake Garrett. They're making their way towards the final 2 corners. Harry Palmer has 1 more lap. The race will be ended in 5 seconds, but these guys will get 1 more lap because they're not the leader. So 1 more lap for them. And this is Harry Palmer's last lap, last chance to try and overtake Josh Evandro for P4. I want to keep an eye on Jake Garrett. There he is coming out of turn 8 there. As we continue these two then, Harry Palmer is close. Will he try and use the slipstream? Try and drag him going onto this back straight. Here we go. Then the gap is down 2.8 between Ewan and Jake, but it's all too late. There he is Jake Garrett. But I want to watch these two. Can Harry Palmer outbrake Josh going into chicane? I don't think he can. And for the 2nd time in a row, has failed to overtake him. And also Christian Chamo and Saba fights over P6 and P7. But here he is there, coming towards the final corner. Tom Garrett will come across the line to win his 3rd race of the season. What a drive there from Jake Garrett in P1. Ewan Small comes home to finish in P2 with Nathan Booth lonely on the podium in P3. And these two side by side again as we head down towards the breaker zone. His right-hander. And Josh goes defensive on the inside. Harry Palmer can't find his way through. Christian Chamo is ahead of Saba. Cuts in for P6. But this is the main battle between these two. Josh versus Harry Palmer. Jake Garrett will bring the championship down. I'll probably overtake Menendez in the championship too, as it's only about a few points away from him. Only 4 points away. Menendez is down in P8. Or P9, sorry. But where can Harry Palmer strike? He's also in the championship battle, P2 in the championship, so doesn't want to lose too many points there. We're coming towards the penultimate corner. Before we head towards the final corner, I think Josh will cover Harry, unless Harry goes for a crazy move down the inside. Into the fast right-hander. Josh goes offensive there. And Harry Palmer, will he get the exit at the final corner? Can he out-track him towards the line? I don't think he can. And Josh, mighty defence, stellar performance to finish in P4. Harry Palmer comes back to finish in P5 after spinning in a chicane. Christian Chamo finishes P6 ahead of Saba, who drove a brilliant race on his debut, despite spinning twice. I would have loved to see him in the top 3 to see what he could have done, but the top 3 will be invited to the podium interview. The top 3 have been invited to the podium interviews, and we can hear what the top 3 have to say. Not much to ask for Nathan, because only throughout this race had no one to battle with, so he won't have much to say. But here we are then. We've got Nathan JB in the party. We'll start with him from P3 upwards. We just wait for Ewan Small and Jay Garrett to join this party. But Nathan, another podium to your name. And you currently sat, I think, where are you sat? Currently sat P6 in the championship. A few points behind Michael Eckholt, which we'll definitely get. So, how was the race for you? It was quite lonely out there, wasn't it? You had no one to battle with.
Boring.
as expected.
Yeah, I mean, like P3 is the best I could do, so yeah, nothing more I could do with the car I had. So I'll take it.
How was the car? Were you struggling out there with your car, or is it just the top
But
two?
it was fine. It just had a lot more tire wear than both of them. So the more like the stint went on, the worse my lap times were getting because of my rear. So there's nothing I could have done.
Saturn P3.
I couldn't do the no tire change because my tires were destroyed after like 20 minutes. So 15 minutes.
You couldn't change your tyres in the pit lane.
No, I had to change tires. I
Oh,
couldn't
sorry.
do what Jake did because my tire wear was too bad. So
Fair enough, mate. And yeah, P3 is all you could have done today, so not really much to ask for you. But another podium in the cards. That's your third podium of the season after scoring one back in Valencia and Laguna Seca last weekend too. So you starting to score more podiums. And what are your expectations for the Donington Grand Prix next weekend?
P3 probably because Jake will sweat 20 hours again, and Ewan's fast, and the Beamer's good at Donington. But P3 is the aim.
Well, thank you very much, Nathan. Nice to hear from you, mate, and congrats on P3 again. Moving on to Ewan Small and P2. Ewan, mate, well, you were leading the first stint of the race, but Jake Gower started closing on you. Were you struggling in your tyres there? Is that why Jake Gower was able to get up the back of you?
Not really. I kind of just made a couple of mistakes. Just wasn't like a few lack of concentration mistakes, but nothing too serious. And then just keeping it going, just keeping it on track. I knew it's going to be hard to overtake, especially when we're on the same tyres. But yeah, felt pretty confident in that first stint that I could bring it home. But the strategy wasn't the best, so.
Yeah, so do you think by pitting early is what cost you today? Because Jake was able to go out there with lower fuel, and also you got stuck behind a few drivers there too.
I'm about to say the pitting early wasn't well. I'm about to say I was planning to pit halfway through the race like normal and just put half a load of fuel in and then fresh rubber. But I kind of expected to get past the back markers a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Like I got a bit lucky with one of them just letting me straight through, like not even fighting it. But then the other two just kind of fought it life or death, which fair play. But like it's ruining their race and it's ruining my race. So like there's no flipping upside to any of us fighting.
Well, it could be just the fact that Menendez was the one that we were fighting, and he's in the championship fight too. So, just wants to make it a bit difficult for you.
Well, you can make it difficult for me. I don't really care. I'm not gonna be doing the rest of this. I'm only gonna be here for like 2 more races, maybe. I don't know. Probably one more actually, because we've got the endurance next week, and then it's Donington the week after, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Think
endurance
so,
next week and Donington the week after. Yeah, you are right about that one. I forgot all about the endurance one.
Yeah, so I've only got one more race in me at Donington, so, and then I don't know what I'll be doing for the rest of the season. I might be racing on a controller. Just depends on how good the Wi-Fi will be when I'm at uni.
So you won't take your wheel to uni?
Yeah. I won't be racing the rest of the season unless, obviously, I can somehow take my wheel down there, but I doubt it.
And how do you feel? I don't know what the next race is for the endurance, but how do you feel for the next race in Donington in this league?
Well, I've only driven around it once, and it's not a bad track. I'll probably can get quite strong at it quite quickly. But next week in I think it's Monza, the endurance.
Yeah.
My teammates, I don't know where they're going to be, so it might just be me the whole race.
Can you manage it for 3 hours?
Probably not, but we'll see.
And do you know when you were closing that gap down, did you think at any point you were able to catch Jake Garrett, or was it just a bit too late?
I think the start of the stint where I was still doing like low 45s, maybe high 44, and like I was like not really pushing, but like trying to go like as quick as I can without like risking too much.
Yeah.
But it was just I saw the gap coming down. I was like, oh, this it's going to be close near the end, and to be like 17 seconds back, I think after I got past that last not lapped car, but the last back marker that was in my way, to get to 2.5 seconds, I don't mind. So I can just look back and say the fighting them probably cost me, but I still would have had to get past Jake, which would have been hard enough as it is.
Yeah, he didn't get past you on the track, did he? You just peeled off as the pit lane before he did. So, yeah, no change on the track, but in the pit lane is where it all started and how it ended. But congratulations on P2. You do extend over second place. Harry Palmer, who I think he spun behind Nathan, if that's correct, Nathan.
He got 5th in the end, though, I think.
Yeah, he
What
did.
was the question?
Did Harry spin behind you or in front of you? I can't remember what it was.
He binned at the fast chicane behind me.
Yeah, I thought he was. But anyways, congratulations on another podium, mate, and I'll see you next weekend. Jake, you there?
Yes, hello.
Well, congrats on another win, mate. And you were dropping back slightly in the first few laps of the race. The gap was up like 2 seconds before. You and Small was pulling away, but did you get more comfortable during the stint? Were you able to manage your tyres better than Ewan? And did you think that was a move could be on in the first stint to overtake you for the lead?
Well, I started with a bit more fuel than I would have usually, so you might have had the advantage, but the Lamborghini straight line speed wasn't the best and I wasn't in the rhythm, so I did make quite a few mistakes, and Nathan thought about going around the outside into the fast chicane, which was a bit scary, but we survived. And then I brought it back to Ewan towards the end of the first stint, but I knew what I was doing in the first place with the splash and dash, just fuel, no tyres, before the race even started, because I did a test run a few days ago and it was quicker. Of
course you did.
Piss off. But yeah, well, in practice I didn't struggle that much, but in the race I was pushing a bit too much and my tyre wear was a lot worse, which caused Ewan to catch a lot more because I was making more mistakes towards the end.
Yeah, so during the last stint of the race, did you feel like Ewan Small would get up towards you? And did you start to feel the pressure once he was closing that gap down at 8 knots?
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, those points where I was like, well, if I carry on doing this pace, he's definitely going to catch me. And those points where I started doing 1 minute 45s, which wasn't too bad. So I was like, it was a 50-50 chance, but if I didn't make as many mistakes as I did, it would have been a bit more comfortable, but it was definitely close at the end.
How are you feeling in Daytona on September 14th?
When me and you go?
Yeah. Do you think you were able to beat Kyle on the track?
100%. What did you say before? Of course I am. But yeah, I struggled a lot with tyre wear in this race, which caused Ewan to catch at least almost 2 seconds a lap, which took me by surprise because he was rapid. Anyway, and I was like, why couldn't you just be a bit slower, just mess up a bit, just so I can relax? But no, my wrists are killing now. But it was a win at the end of the day, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, congratulations on another win, Jake. That's your 3rd win of the season, and also you got more wins than anybody this season, despite you having your issues with at the French GP, and also you had your internet connection issue during the Valencia Grand Prix, so you had your misfortunes early on in the season, and in Imola, but that don't count because it got cancelled.
Yeah.
Should have got more points in Japan, but obviously that server disconnected too, so it goes back and forth both ways really. And how are you feeling for Donington or Monza next weekend?
Well, Monza, I mean, it's an alright track. It's not my favourite track, just because there's not that many corners, but it should be interesting. And then for Donington, I've never done that track before in my life, so I need to sweat that one out.
I've been there.
50 hours will go into the game for Donington now.
It's already out 456, I think, hours played in the game.
Jeez. So I'm 100 hours behind you then.
Yeah, true.
But there are 400 hours behind you. My maths is terrible. I don't know what it is.
I was going to say, you've not done that much.
Yeah. I think I'm on 40 hours. But anyways, congrats to top 3, Jake Garrett, Ewan Small and Nathan Booth. We'll see you all at 8 o'clock for the Monza Grand Prix for the Endurance League, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks' time at Donington for the league itself for round 7 around there. Who will win? Will it be Jake Garrett or Ewan Small, or another outsider, which could be Nathan Booth or Harry Palmer, depending until they can make their minimum mistakes? But we'll see you all
We're
later.
banning Jake from practicing.
No.